Oh my goodness gracious. I'm Kim Rayner from All About Spirit, Life, Health, and Money Coaching, and I'm really excited to be able to be our 10-minute presenter today. I'm a debt solution strategist, and we're going to look at something that most people don't realize about debt, and it's really hard to find a way to make debt be something exciting that people want to talk about. I'm just saying that out loud, right? So often we talk about big, scary balances, but we don't really talk about the small incremental things that we do, the convenient choices that we make every day that actually impact our debt life, our debt world. So I'm going to start by asking you a question to just think for a second. How often do you make a decision to pay for something in a certain way because it's easier? Right? You put something on auto pay. You put something on Apple Pay. You put something on, whatever the pay of the day is that's working for you, PayPal, whatever that is for you, right? By the end of the next 10 minutes, you're going to see how some of these harmless habits that we have, like your daily coffee, your small online purchases, or auto pay, how they really can silently add up to thousands of dollars over the course of a year or a couple of years cumulatively. So I'm going to ask you to reflect on your own habits. You don't have to disclose them. If you want to share in the chat, you can certainly do that. It's always better when the conversations are interactive, and I appreciate that. But I'm going to also ask you to take a quick mini quiz so you can see some of what your hidden spending is in real time. So what's going on here? Okay, so convenience really isn't free. And that's the thing about this. It's not free. There's a price for it. It may save you some time, but overall, it's not free. So, what counts as convenience spending? What are those things, right? Food delivery instead of cooking at home, rideshare services instead of public transportation, subscription apps that you may or may not be using on your telephone or in your home, the buy now, pay later for small purchases, and impulse buying. Those are all considered convenience spending, and we're going to do a little deeper dive into those things. So it really does add up a lot faster than you think. If you buy a $10 cup of coffee every day just because I deserve that, that's a treat. It's just a cup of coffee, right? That's $70 a week. That's $3,600 a year. What could you do with $3,600 a year if you were mindfully applying it and made that great coffee at home and put in a flavored coffeeer or learned how to make those little swirly flower things yourself, right? How would that be for you? What about thinking about food delivery, right? It's about 25 bucks every time you do it if you're one person, right? Maybe two people can get by with that, but unlikely, right? If you do that 3 times a week, 75 bucks a week, $3,900 a year. That can be a lot of money. That adds up. When you start looking at things like gym memberships, $9 a week, $468, streaming services, $390, right? And that is cheap for a streaming service, right? Couple $100 a year. Fitness apps, $10 a month, $127 a year. Dating apps, $19 a month, right? $228 a year. Forgotten subscriptions, $17 a month, about $200 a year. And these are the guys that are the most commonly forgotten when people are navigating their life. These are the things that I sign up for, and it's like, yeah, I'm really excited about doing this. I'm going to rock it all the time. And then we do it for a week or two, and it's like, bah, out of sight, out of mind. So if we did a quick little case study, right? If the person who bought those takeouts 3 times a week, that $3,900 a year, and they bought that coffee, maybe they drink a cold drink one day, hot drink another day, right? 3650 a year. If you add that up, that's $7,550 a year. In 18 months, you could save enough money for a 10% down on a $200,000 home. So when you're thinking about, I want to change my life, right? I want to get a new car. I want to do something differently. These are little things that we don't even think about, right? It's just like we don't think about it. Like buying something for the kid at the checkout line at the grocery store. Well, it's only a few dollars. A few dollars every time you do that is going to add up. So there's that buy now, pay later trap. We live in a world today that is so enmeshed in instant gratification. And we don't really know how to shut that off like we used to. There was some sense of self discipline in the early years. And it's much more difficult for us because everybody says you deserve, advertisers say you deserve to have this. And they've learned how to tap into our mindset. They've learned how to find that dopamine hit that says, oh, I'm going to get better. I'm going to feel better if I get that dopamine hit. And that's going to drive me to do it more. And then because I have it now, I have that constant rush where I want more and more and more. So I keep hitting the yes. I keep hitting the yes. I keep hitting the yes. And in the background, my mind is going, oh my gosh, this is killing me. I can't even sleep at night anymore. So let's take a look at what some of this might look like, right? Let's say you buy a $100 item on a buy now, pay later. Over 6 months' time with fees and interest, you're actually going to pay closer to $110 to $120 instead of that $100. It multiplies. Imagine if you had 5 or 6 of these little buy now, pay later things, and that is not uncommon in the world that I live in, right? 5 or 6 of these little payments going out every month. It can easily add up to $700 a month, slipping away before you even notice it, right? There is danger in what feels or what is invisible. Those small payments here, those small payments there, they are small but can have a cumulative effect. So who here has ever used that buy now, pay later plan? You know, you don't have to tell me, but just check in with yourself, right? PayPal credit's a beautiful thing if your hot water heater goes out, right? Not so much if I'm looking to get a new hairdo, right? I mean, that's not the best way to do that. So being mindful, paying attention. What about auto subscriptions, the auto renewals and the subscription things that I talked about earlier, right? That $10 a month app or streaming service doesn't sound like much, but that's $120 a year on one subscription. And if you're not watching it or you're not listening to it or you're not using it, that is a huge waste. Now stack a few more of those on top of each other. The music, the streaming, the gym, the cloud storage, and suddenly you're at $500 to $1,000 a year and you're not even realizing it. Could you get by with one music app? Do you have to have two? Do you have to save 10,000 copies of photos of things that include my thumb because it was over the lens and my foot because I had the camera pointed in the wrong direction? Do I really need to save all of those to have all of that extra storage? And the kicker is most people forget that they're paying for it. They just renew quietly in the background. Sometimes now we might get a notification saying, oh, you're going to get dinged with this, right? So do a quick self-check for yourself. Do you know how much you're spending every month on recurring subscriptions? Do you actually know what your recurring subscriptions are? Do you know where to go to look for them? Do you know how to find them? Lots of people don't. So you can check on your cell phones usually in the general area. I have an iPhone. There's a general area and you can click on the general and it'll go to subscriptions and it'll give you a list of the paid subscriptions you have on your iPhone. I don't know how to do it on an Android because you should all convert to iPhones anyways because it's so much easier. I can look if anybody has an Android and wants to know how to find them. They do have to make it available to you. I just don't know where to go to find it on an Android. So when you look at coffee, snacks, grabbing something at the vending machine, right? How does that stuff add up? $5 for a coffee or a snack feels like nothing. You're grabbing it on the go, right? That's about $1,800 a year, right? If you layer on another small habit, like I have to park, right? I'm buying, or there's tolls where I live, right? That can easily be another $500 a year, right? Alone, these things aren't huge, but if you add in lunches, I'm going to buy my lunch. That's, 5, 10, 20 bucks a day, right? Bottled water at a convenience store. Suddenly you're looking at $5,000 to $10,000 a year on tiny little things that you have nothing to show for it except wrappers to put into the landfill or bottles to put into the landfill. See how I slide my other beliefs in there? Like that? So the danger with these, they call them micro purchases. And the danger with these micro purchases is they really feel harmless. They feel invisible. Oh, but the cumulative effect can be devastating for us. So 5,000 to 10,000 a year easily. Strategic plans to reduce the way you're spending money is really, really important. Taking a look at meal prep, taking a look at making your coffee at home, tracking subscriptions, using rideshare services, evaluating your buy now, pay later things, right? Really taking a look at the true cost of convenience for yourself. Convenience is not free. If you'd like to have a conversation about convenience in your life, you can go ahead and click that QR code. It'll take you to my calendar. You could call me, you could send me a text message, and I would be happy to have a conversation with you about it. Kim Raynor from All About Spirit, Life, Health, and Money Coaching. Thank you for joining today.